Hey everyone, welcome to the Royce Reports. I'm your host Royce, and today we're going to be talking about the Activision Blizzard deal and why Sony does not want Call of Duty to be taken from them, and that they're going to be fighting tooth and nail to keep it on their platform. Let's talk about it. I kind of want to break this down a little bit and discuss this. This is nuts. I don't understand where they're coming from and how they think that this is a reasonable thing. GamesIndustry.biz came out with an article, and there's a couple things that a lot of people wanted to talk about when it comes down to the Activision Blizzard acquisition by Microsoft. There's some key things in here. One of them being what Jim Ryan had to say about this whole process. So, we're going to get into this. Microsoft has promised to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation for 3 years beyond the current agreement between Activision and Sony, says PlayStation CEO Jim Ryan. In a statement provided to GamesIndustry.biz, Ryan says the offer was inadequate on many levels. The disagreement between the two companies follows Microsoft's offer to buy Call of Duty publisher Activision Blizzard in a deal worth nearly $69 billion. The deal is currently being scrutinized by competitions regulators, with the UK regulator, the Competitions and Markets Authority, concerned over the possibility of Microsoft withholding or degrading Activision Blizzard's content from other consoles or subscription services. The UK regulators gathered thousands of internal documents and data from both parties to understand its businesses and concluded that the completion of the merger could affect competition in two ways. One, the deal could see Microsoft withholding or degrading Activision Blizzard's content from other consoles or subscription services. And two, Microsoft could leverage its broader ecosystem together with Activision's catalog to raise barriers to entry and foreclose rivals in cloud gaming service. Microsoft has said multiple times that they are not removing Call of Duty from the platform, that they are going to continue to release Call of Duty on that platform because it doesn't make financial sense to remove Call of Duty from PlayStation, where a lot of people play Call of Duty on, where they make a lot of their money. Why would they do that? It doesn't make any sense. And they've said over and over and over again that this is only the beginning of where they want to maintain the Call of Duty brand. They don't want to just have it be on Xbox, PC, and PlayStation. They want it to be on cloud and the browser and Switch and your phone. They want Call of Duty everywhere. And in order to achieve that, they need to place it in a cloud-like service. And they need to continue to keep it on PlayStation. So them being worried about Microsoft taking it off is such a nothing burger that it makes zero sense. That they are just trying to get this deal to be scrutinized even further because they don't want this deal to go through. But they talk about how this is bad for gamers. They talk about how this is anti-competitive. But the practices that Sony uses whenever they are in a market where they're trying to compete is not anti-competitive. When it comes down to Square Enix, they've locked down Final Fantasy VII Part 1 Remake. It was initially supposed to be a 2-year exclusive window that they ended up just prolonging even further. And now we don't even know when or if this game is going to come to Xbox. And then they announced Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2, and they said that's also a timed exclusive to PlayStation. And Final Fantasy 16 is going to be a timed exclusive to PlayStation. And the most popular MMORPG in the world, Final Fantasy 14, is exclusive to PC and PlayStation. And Square Enix has commented on that, saying that they don't have the resources to bring it over to Xbox. The most popular MMORPG in the world doesn't have the resources to bring it to Xbox. If you felt that way, you could also maybe reach out to Microsoft and say, hey, do you want this really popular thing? Well, can you help us bring it to your platform? Because it would make business sense for both of us. Maybe you could do that. But they're not doing that because That is not the truth. The truth is PlayStation is money hatting the Final Fantasy franchise. In fact, the only Final Fantasy you're going to get on Xbox is Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Remake, which is a prequel to Final Fantasy VII Part 1. So you can play the prequel, but you can't play the original game. How does that make any sense? It's not just with Final Fantasy and Square Enix. They have extended beyond that. You have games that are even owned by Microsoft themselves that are not allowed on the Xbox ecosystem at the moment. So Deathloop, which came out last year, has not come to the platform yet because of the exclusivity deal between Bethesda and Sony. And the same goes with Ghostwire Tokyo, which came out earlier this year. That game has not come to Xbox yet. And people are assuming it's a 1-year deal, but we don't know. They also do these deals with other people to not allow console parity. They go and they make deals with Activision Blizzard to have a beta be exclusive to their platform a week in advance, so that way their players can get ahead of it and can play and enjoy Call of Duty before anyone else can. And they also introduce exclusive modes only available on PlayStation and don't come to other platforms until a year after the fact. And when it comes down to Destiny, they made a deal where Destiny would get exclusive strikes on PlayStation that they couldn't be played anywhere else. They have money hatted in-game things. They've also used their movie rights of Spider-Man to get leverage on certain things, like the Spider-Man IP. Disney and Sony have made a deal to allow Sony to produce a Spider-Man game. And now they have Spider-Man, Spider-Man Miles Morales, and Spider-Man 2, as well as Wolverine coming exclusive to the platform. Spider-Man is arguably the #1 most popular comic book hero of all time. Besides Spider-Man and Batman, there's no one else that can compete between those two powerhouses when it comes down to comic books. And that comic book character Spider-Man is exclusive solely to the PlayStation platform. And they even have a character in Marvel's Avengers that is exclusive to the PlayStation platform, and that character being, well, Spider-Man. So if you want to play as Spider-Man, if you want to play Spider-Man, if you want anything to do with Spider-Man, you have to be on that platform. But that's okay. That's not anti-consumer. That's not anti-competitive. That's just business. And I agree. It is just business. They made that deal. They want you to go play on their platform. And how are you going to do that? With those exclusives. Now, the thing is, when Microsoft is doing something like that, it's a no-go. You cannot allow that. That is anti-competitive as hell. You are not allowed to play. You're not allowed to have Call of Duty exclusive to just Xbox. That's not allowed. No way. Nope. But Sony can have Spider-Man, which is more recognizable than Call of Duty, and that's okay? How does that make any sense? That doesn't make any sense to me. Last week, Xbox revealed that it had provided a signed agreement to Sony to guarantee Call of Duty on PlayStation with feature and content parity for at least several more years beyond Sony's existing contract with Activision. Xbox said this offer goes well beyond typical gaming industry agreement. The current deal between Sony and Activision Blizzard around Call of Duty is believed to cover the next 3 releases, including this year's Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. However, Sony says the offer fails to consider the impact on PlayStation gamers. I hadn't intended to comment on what I understood to be a private business discussion, but I feel the need to set the record straight because Phil Spencer brought this into the public forum, Ryan stated. What is so crazy about this is the fact that he is calling out Phil Spencer by name in another article. So they're just going to do this back and forth between each other in just articles where they're just going to continue to call each other out over this deal. This is console wars at its greatest level. This is an actual console war that's happening right now, and the two heads are going at it right now. Microsoft has only offered for Call of Duty to remain on PlayStation for 3 years after the current agreement between Activision and Sony ends. After almost 20 years of Call of Duty on PlayStation, their proposal was inadequate on many levels and failed to take account of the impact on our gamers. We want to guarantee PlayStation gamers continue to have the highest quality of Call of Duty experience, and Microsoft's proposal undermines this principle. It is not Microsoft's job to ensure that players on the PlayStation platform are happy. That is the job of Sony. And the fact that they're trying to put that on Microsoft just shows how childish and how desperate PlayStation is right now. The fact that they are scared that they're going to be losing out on Call of Duty, it shows. And you look really weak right now. And that's what Sony is in this position of, a scared dog with its tail between its legs, asking and begging for the regulators to cancel this deal, to stop this deal from happening, because Sony's actually scared. They say that this is going to impact PlayStation gamers and that Microsoft has failed to realize what it means for PlayStation gamers to have Call of Duty on their platform. And what's crazy about all that is that Sony doesn't give two shits about the gamers. They don't care about their own consumers. They like to lie and say that they do, but there's been many instances where PlayStation has been anti-consumer to their own players. They're the first people to introduce $70 price tag for their games. They also don't allow you to have a free upgrade from your PS4 to your PS5 games. In fact, they want to make you pay for it and have a $10 upgrade path for most of those games. They also raise the prices of their gaming console in every market other than North America. That if you cared about your gamers, you wouldn't be raising the price of your console in the middle of a global pandemic, and with inflation the way it is, that is hurting everyone right now the way inflation is. And you, in order to continue making your record-breaking profits every single year, you are causing them to pay more because you don't want to take the hit. This is not something that they care about. They don't care about you. They've even promised people during the initial release of the PlayStation 5, Horizon Forbidden West was supposed to be a launch exclusive. That ended up getting pushed back because of COVID. And instead of them giving it away for free, they ended up charging people for it. So if you pre-ordered the PlayStation 4 version, you could have upgraded to the PlayStation 5 version for free, is what they said. But later on, because they pushed it out of that window, they were then going to make people pay for it. And the consumers were really upset, as they should have been. That is so anti-consumer, it's unbelievable. They do not care about you. They do not care about the PlayStation gamers. The only thing they care about when it comes to Call of Duty is the fact that Call of Duty makes them a lot of money. And when Microsoft now acquires them and owns them, and people start to shift over from PlayStation to Xbox Game Pass because they're going to be releasing Call of Duty, Diablo, Overwatch, all of their big franchises day and day into Game Pass. So people are going to move over from PlayStation, go over to Xbox and get into Xbox Game Pass. That means they are losing that amount of people who play those games, who pay for all those skins, because they're going elsewhere. And now they're losing money. And they don't want that. And even if Microsoft agrees to continue to have Call of Duty on their platform, they don't care. They want to make sure that Xbox is not going to be able to get Call of Duty easily. And they are bringing this up right now because of the fact that a lot of regulators are starting to come out and asking questions. You had Brazil a few weeks ago pretty much having an open discussion with other people and other developers and publishers and asking them their take on Activision being acquired by Microsoft. All of them said, we have no issue with it. This doesn't affect us. There's many other different games that compete with all of their franchises, and so we don't care. The one studio and publisher that had an issue with it was Sony. Sony was very adamant about this deal not going through because it hurts their bottom dollar. With the UK going through their process on the acquisition, they have raised the question of, hey, we believe this to be anti-competitive because of such and such reason. So on top of that, they are now utilizing this to their advantage by making a concern, by bringing up, hey, like, we think this is bad for gaming. This is bad for the gamers of the PlayStation because they've always expected Call of Duty. Another thing I'd like to touch on is the acquisition of Bungie by Sony. So Sony acquired Bungie, and that was something that wasn't an issue for a lot of people because Sony stated, and Bungie themselves stated, that this is not about making games exclusive. This is about having the financial backing that Bungie wants in order to expand the Destiny universe and to expand into other markets and other games. The thing is, there is no other game like Destiny 2. There is no other game like it. It is the #1 looter shooter on the market. And there is no signs of any other person coming in and trying to overstep them and try to move them over. But is that not a concern? Is that something that a lot of people aren't worried about when it comes down to Destiny on the PlayStation and then potentially making it exclusive? That's okay. But when Microsoft comes out and says, hey, we are going to keep this on all these platforms and bring it to more, and we are committed to having console parity, it's an issue. So it's just so crazy that they consider all these things anti-competitive because you're going to be placing it in a cloud gaming service that no one else has bothered to even try to establish themselves. And this is not anti-competitive. Anti-competitive is what Sony does, where they money hat all these games, where they have exclusivity rights that keep extending further and further, and pretty much they don't own these studios, and yet they're able to go and make exclusivity rights with those said studios and continue to extend those windows further and further. And the way they treat their consumers is terrible. It sucks to be a PlayStation fan right now because of how they're treating you, how they're pretty much trying to nickel and dime you every single step of the way. And it is sad to see that they are continuing to be greedy when it comes down to things. I get it. It's business at the end of the day, and that's fine. That is 100% fine. I think that Microsoft and Sony have every single right to do all what they're doing. They should be able to buy exclusivity rights. They should be able to pay developers to produce a game exclusive on their console. That's all okay, because at the end of the day, this is business. You want people to come to your platform, and how do you do that? You do that by making it exclusive. Do that by having features that attract other people. So I think that Microsoft should just give Sony what they want. Give them an extension on those years. Give them like, okay, yeah, sure, we'll sign another extension for that platform, because why not? You're gonna have PlayStation have it on their console, so you'll satisfy them. You're gonna have it on day one on Game Pass, so you're gonna satisfy Xbox gamers. And in fact, you're probably gonna bring people over because they don't want to pay $70 over on PlayStation when they could pay $15 for Game Pass and get Call of Duty and all these other games for their monthly fee. I get why Sony is trying to stop this, because they want to maintain their lead. They want to maintain their control in other markets, and so I don't blame them. If I was Sony, I'd be doing the exact same thing. But it's just seeing it, the way they're going about it is really petty, and they are looking very hypocritical when it comes down to their practices. So with that, hopefully all this ends soon so we don't have to hear about it anymore. So with that, I'll be seeing you next time. If you like what you saw and you'd like to see more, please like, comment, and subscribe. The next video I should be releasing is probably going to be my Last of Us Part 1 review, so if you're interested in that, stay tuned and check it out. Have a good one, and remember, take it easy.